Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Mantic, of or relating to the faculty of divination, prophetic. So when I read this, the faculty of divination, do you take that as like the school of divination?
Nope, I have no idea. That word just passed right by me as it was being read.
The first time I skipped it, but the second time I was just like, school of divination, like Harry Potter, but I didn't go along those lines with my idea. You want me to run with mine first?
Please do.
All right, here we go. I wrote magic or the force, ?
Nice. Yep.
And then I wrote just being able to move something with your mind is where, and I tried to figure out how you would do this in a game. And I'd say that it's all an illusion, and trying to make people believe that it happened is sort of it. But then I said, how can you make yourself believe it? And I kind of went down that path. And then I thought, you're going to set your beliefs and make them known to everybody. So let's just say it's a very abstract board, and let's just say it's a game of chess, just a grid. And I say this space is a fountain of youth. And then I mark it and say that space is a fountain of youth. And when I go there, I can regenerate something, But then we're just going to play through the game. And if anybody else decides they're actually going to use that fountain of youth, then it becomes true. And then it becomes a thing that I can use and we all can use. And what I thought was I might use that fountain of youth a couple times throughout the game. And if somebody else ever decides they need it later, now all that happens. If at the end of the game, nobody does it, then it takes some steps back. And I don't think it's going to do a rewind, but I'm going to lose some points would probably be the easiest way to make that happen. And so I thought it was like press your luck in that you want to see how useful something can be, and I'm just declaring something as something, and if that works out, then I'm going to benefit from it. We all might benefit from it, actually. But that's kind of where I went with it, and it was basically just very abstract, and I don't know if it would be like, this is a fountain of youth, and here's what a fountain of youth does, or there's a whole bunch of things that I can actually make them into, set by the game.
Interesting.
And that's all.
That's like, let's see, is it Clockwork Wars?
I've seen that, but I haven't played it.
There's a cool mechanism where, you have these giant, from what I understand, that you have these giant landmarks on the board, and they can be different things, depending on who put them there or who controls them and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I like having things on boards that, I don't know, someone doesn't control.
Yeah.
Because it's not really yours. Everybody. Yeah.
It's just like how, I think there's something interesting in where do I place it? Do I place it near you, hoping that you go for it early? And then it presents you with a choice. Like, do I want to go for this or?
Right.
I don't know.
So that's kind of like in Vino Morte, expanded out just a little bit more.
Just a little more.
Did he put that near me because it's bad, or is it really something that could benefit me?
Yeah, that's all I got. So
okay, well, I went a little bit more on the prophetic nature.
Okay,
where you want to predict things that will happen in game. So Rex has a faction where if you predict the winner of the game and what turn they win, you win instead.
Oh, I love it.
And so I thought that was a super, super interesting thing. And it seems like prophecies or something like that are kind of like bets, where you wouldn't bet on something if you didn't believe or didn't think that it would come true. And so I wanted a game where you could bet on anything you wanted. So you could bet on who wins, who loses, how many points someone gets at the end, the status of certain events, like this person's here, this person's there. And so I wanted to bet on someone doing something else, but I didn't want it to be where you would play mind games.
Okay.
I didn't want it to be that. I didn't want it to be, oh, I knew you were going to do that because of this and this and this. I wanted it to be something happens and you flip a card and say, yay, it happened. I totally predicted it because I had this card down. And so I figured like it was, you have a bunch of cards that depict certain things happening in a game, like someone overtaking a lead or someone moving their worker to someplace else. They could be actions that someone takes during a game or events that happen to certain people. So you have these events, you draft them, pick one and pass it to the other person. And then you have markers that represent every person on the board. So these cards are generic events, and then the markers you place on the card who it's going to happen to.
Okay.
And so you are trying to, I guess, kind of shepherd other people into doing the things that you picked, but you also know what other people picked. So you say, oh, my marker is on that card. Is that the one where I'm in first place, or is that the one where I go here?
Yeah.
And I guess that's going against what I wanted, is I didn't want people to overthink or try and outsmart another person. I just wanted people to flip over a card and say, I knew you were going to do that, or something like that, where you could predict the future in a way that wasn't entirely out of the blue, where you had some kind of control over it.
That's cool. That's the one big thing that I wanted to do was make it like not about lying, and you sort of went that same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I wanted it to be me. Like I want to believe in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought of like smoke and mirrors, like bluffing games and things like that, and
Right.
I was like, I want the magic or the the divination or whatever it is to be true. Like
Right. And so like you could go the other way in that like there's a prophecy, so everyone knows the prophecy, but it can be like fulfilled in different ways.
okay,
So like the Chosen One prophecy in Star Wars, where he brought balance to the Force by destroying the Jedi. Like that wasn't how they expected it to be, how they expected it to happen, but like these cards could have like secret requirements underneath. So imagine like a prophecy is 3 icons. You are gathering resources and only you know what's underneath. And so you could finally fulfill a prophecy with these 3 icons that you have that no one else knew you had. I don't know. That's not really predicting anything though. It's kind of just shaping what you want to happen.
When you said that, the first thing I thought was like our end goal is in the center. And instead of having like multiple paths to victory, it's multiple paths away from the end goal. And you're getting to one of these. It's essentially a path to victory, but it's kind of sprawling outwards instead of to a center point. And it was just this visual that I had of like almost like a think of like a family tree style board, but everything's starting in the middle and then just spreading.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I don't know. I just thought Star Wars though. That was my first thought. Actually, Harry
What do you
Potter.
not think Star Wars?
Harry Potter with the school, and then Star Wars with the Jedi Council, which just made me mad. So,
Yep.
all right, cool. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
We'll jump back in. Yeah. Catch you again next week.
Talk to you later.
All right.